Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gunners in Oz. It's been a while. We had international break. I've been sick, so apologies for missing out on the Brighton review and the preview for this one. But we're here, and I don't know what I can say, boys, because Arsenal aren't here. I mean, I don't know where they are right now, just literally in the clouds somewhere. I don't know. Mesut Ozil, happy birthday to you, buddy. Thanks for ruining our day yesterday. Anyway, I'm really happy to have Bradley here, and of course, a man who needs not much introduction, Colin from Much Arsenal, the very outspoken one. He gives you no bullshit, and I expect nothing different from you today, buddy. How are you?
Oh, dude, I don't even know where to begin with that. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. On Ozil, yeah? It's funny how people will, like, laud his name and that, and he's world class. I'm just not having it. I'm just not having it. What a world class player does not miss that chance. And please don't anyone tell me that that was a difficult chance, because it wasn't. And if you watch it carefully after that, you'll notice that Mesut Ozil is at fault for Watford's equaliser. Does he try back? Does he fuck? Seriously, man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that in a second, but for sure, Mesut Ozil. I mean, watching the replay of that shot, I think the option was very obvious of which side of the goal he should have gone with, and for some reason, the shot just goes directly into where the keeper wants it to go. Like he should have hit it more to the left-hand side of the goal, but it somehow swivels over to the right.
Yeah.
Hey, Bradley, so how are you, dude?
Good. Just not wasn't too happy about the result. I mean, we haven't been playing too poorly in the last few games. I mean, the Brighton game, I thought, we just don't finish chances, and we just aren't clinical enough for me. Yeah, I just don't think we're good enough to compete with like the Cities and the United, because we don't finish chances. And like, yeah, Chelsea got beat to Palace. Like, they got beaten by Palace yesterday, but I guess they've lost 2 easy games, Chelsea. But then again, like, I don't compare us to them 3 teams. Like, we just, like, we can't finish things. Like, fuck, it's just bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just bullshit.
The team selection at the beginning, were we surprised with the team selection, or was it something that maybe Wenger's hands were tied given the situation with international break, or was it just all wrong? Colin?
No, I think it was completely wrong.
You know what? In regards to the leaving Sanchez out thing, right, I understood it. I can see why he would do it, but it's a big call nonetheless. And my only, fire back to that would be, if you didn't want to start, fair enough, but why not put him on the bench?
Yeah. Was he in London? Like, as I was just wondering, like, was he even in the squad? Did he even make it home?
No, he wasn't even on the bench, and that's, like I said, I understand it, but that doesn't mean I'm all right with it, and that kind of thing, because if you think about it, this is what we're going to be like next season with no Sanchez and no Ozil, because let's face it, both are going to leave in around next year in July or somewhere or other. They're not going to be here. One of them might leave in January. Wenger's words, not mine. All right? And if I had to place a bet on who I think is going to leave in January, my guess is Alexis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you make of the rumors, though, about Mesut Ozil signing for Manchester United?
He can fucking go, man. I'm not. I'm not messing about with this anymore, mate. I'm not. Like, all these Ozil fanboys can come out all they want with, oh, he creates this many chances. He's got assists. He needs better players around him. Okay, who? If Ozil had scored that chance, right, we win the game, right? Simple as that. I'm not having any more of this crap, yeah? The funny thing is, these Ozil fanboys will, go on and on and on about assists, chances created, and stuff like that. But when does Ozil actually impact the game for us? And I don't mean the games that, we should be winning anyway. I mean the big games. Can you guys recall a game he's impacted that's been huge for us?
The last one I recall was last year against Chelsea at home.
And why is that? Because they sat off him. That's how you deal with Mesut Ozil. You close him down. Don't give him any time and space on the ball. That's how you deal with him. It's not. You know what? If it were up to me, yeah, I'd get rid of Mesut Ozil and I'd bring in either Lorenzo Insigne from Napoli, Dries Mertens from Napoli as well, or just a whole outside shot here. Actually, you know what? No, scratch that. I'd even put in a cheeky bid for Callahan, because all three of them are better than Ozil. I'm not joking. All of them are.
Wow, they're all Napoli players, aren't they? Yeah. Are you a Napoli fan, Colin?
No. I'm a Milan. I support Milan. Granted, they're not doing so well, but I ain't surprised by that. But I'm just tired of Mesut Ozil. Like, I'm tired of his attitude. I'm tired of these fanboys kissing his arse. If he has a bad performance, say it. Don't dance around it. Say it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a massive fan of his, but in my opinion, every single player should be treated the same way. And so, if a player has a poor game, you can't discount it. I mean, everyone that I was talking to, I was watching the game, turned around to me and said, Mesut Ozil lost us the game. First off, they said lost us 2 points, and then once we lost, they said they lost us the game in a minute. Which is, look, I mean, we can look back on it and say, do you guys actually reckon that there was a penalty?
No.
I mean,
there's a little bit of a push, but for me, it's not a penalty. For me, it's a dive.
Yeah.
I
mean,
agree.
interestingly,
it's a dive, mate. It's a dive, but you know what? That's clutching to straws. Like, I mean, people will attach to that and just say, "Oh, you know what? If what's his name, Andrade, right? If he hadn't dived, we might have, won the game." As I heard some people say last night, yeah. That's clutching to straws. That's avoiding the issue. Why not just address the bigger issue here? Wenger's team selections, which, by the way, are getting worse from last season. How that's even possible, I have no idea. And, well, Ozil bottling the chance and other... Honestly...
I mean, the thing that's frustrating to me and outside of the game was he had two players in Koscielny and Welbeck who had just come back from injury, and they were obviously a massive risk. And neither of them make it to the end of the game. And that to me is gutting. I mean, I guess it's a gamble he had to make, and maybe he would have come out of stick if neither of them would have started. But I mean, Welbeck, I wouldn't have started Welbeck. But
yeah, I mean, look, the Welbeck thing, I didn't really have a problem with him starting. I figured that he could get through or I would hope that he would get through the game without getting injured. But the Koscielny thing, you know what? I'm not surprised. I'm not. We all knew that he had an ongoing Achilles problem. Like, is it a shock to anyone that he couldn't make it through the game? Because it's not to me.
In that sense, yes, I think it's not a shock. But when Arsene Wenger doesn't make a substitution, and I'm expecting Jack Wilshere to come on, and suddenly it's Rob Holding, and you're like, what the?
Do you know what it was, mate? It was a defensive substitution. That's what it was. Like, we were, as soon as Rob Holding came on, I was nervous. But that's nothing to do with Rob Holding. I actually like him as a player, but that's more down to the tactical sense of that substitution. Because my first thought on bringing a centre-back on when it's 1-1 at that point, I'm thinking that's a defensive substitution and we're settling for a draw.
Yeah, you should bring on Wilshere either way.
No, mate, you should have started Wilshere. Wilshere should have started. Like, the first half, there was no creativity in the midfield. I'll be honest with you, I was about ready to fall asleep. It was that bad. It was that.
Oh, it was awful.
I had to go to the kitchen at half time and make myself a cup of coffee. Otherwise, I would have nodded off. I'm not joking. Jesus, man. And is anyone confident going into Everton next week? No.
I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, I'll ask Bradley this, but do you have a feeling that we're not just talking about Ozil and Sanchez and Wenger. We need to have Arsenal need to take a look at everybody from top to bottom, players, management, say, is this guy staying? Is this guy going? And then you cut all your losses and you start from the beginning and have a team that have cohesion. And you got to start from scratch. Do you reckon that?
Should have done that in the transfer window.
So, did anyone see Troy Deeney's interview this morning?
Yeah.
Or this
and he's
afternoon?
bang on. He's bang on, mate. He's bang on.
He goes, oh, you just tussle with Mertesacker and they just lay off you. Like, we've got no strength and there's no like aggression in the team. Wenger's mellowed them all out, and it's like they're just there to chill and cash their paycheck at the end of the week. Like, they're technically gifted players. They can play football. They win games certainly, but like as you said, they've got no aggression and they've got no heart, no passion. And I think that's what Jack Wilshere brings to the team. He brings that passion. Even Aaron Ramsey, he's lost the passion that he used to have, the drive and the fight. I mean, I sit here and I think in the last 3 or 4 years, we haven't really ever... We don't have anyone like that. Like, Monreal wears his heart on his sleeves. I'd probably count him as one. Like, before that, I'd probably Thomas Rositzky. And then I'd even say Lucas Podolski. Like, they played for the love of the game and they played hard. Flamini as well. But
we're to say that Alexis does that.
But, no, But the thing is, he plays for himself. He plays for himself. He doesn't play for the fucking team. He plays for himself.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean by, like, I'm bringing up these players is they're not the standouts in the team. They're the players that shoot them every week because they're the first team. They're the first name you put on the team sheet because they've got the skill. Like, obviously, it's not going to be no Mesut Ozil in that because they're not that type of players. You guys getting what I mean? Like, we just don't have anyone like that anymore. Like the Vieiras and that. Like, we have fucking Granit Xhaka who, he's all right at playing centre mid, but he's piss poor, he's weak, he's slow, he can't catch up to people, and he just dives in for tackles.
Yeah. I mean...
He's got per fucking Mertesacker at centre back because some idiot, Arsene Wenger, got rid of Gabriel. Like, as soon as we got rid of Gabriel, I was like, fan-fucking-tastic. Because Koscielny always gets injured. Friggin' Mustafi always goes down, so we're going to be stuck without one of them. So,
yeah.
and it's now come back to bite him on the arse.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be honest, fellas. When I saw the team sheet, and I saw our front five was Xhaka, Iwobi, Welbeck. I mean, forget Lacazette, because I said Lacazette's the only way that we're going to score a goal. I was wrong, because we scored through murder soccer. But I was like, I don't see how we have any drive or any sort of mad or like creativity coming out of that front five. You looked at that and you're like, oh, we're fucked. And then you saw looking at our defense, and you had BFG in there. All very predictable considering that we're missing Mustafi. But like, you just look at that team and you're like, uh-oh.
Well, thing is, there was a mixed reaction like to the team. Like, some people were saying it's good enough to beat Watford, and you have some people on the other side saying, why is Ozil not playing? Why is Wilshere not playing? Why is like Alexis not even in the squad? Like,
Ramsey, where was Ramsey?
Dude, Ramsey's been all right, fine. He had a stinker for Wales, but you know what? This season he's been decent for us this season, better than recent years. I'll say that. But you know what? I've been saying that we should play a 4-3-3 for a while now. And the reason why is we're very predictable with three at the back. We are. There's no denying it.
Yeah.
I mean, our last couple of away performances, let's see. Stoke, we lost that. Liverpool, we got absolutely annihilated. Lost to Watford yesterday and drew against Chelsea.
And I guess who our next two are? Everton and Man City.
That's 1 point in 4 away games. Is that good enough for a title challenging side or supposed title challenging side? No. Anyone that defends.
Listen, guys, I'm gonna have to go. I gotta go study.
Oh yeah. All right. Cool, man. We'll see it. We'll check you.
Sorry,
see you
guys.
around.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
See you later.
No, it's definitely not good enough for a title challenging side.
Mate, anyone that defends that is. I swear to God, if I see anyone defend that today, right, I'm going to go off on one again, because these people are part of the problem, right? I don't like singling like fans out, but these people who say, oh, the performance doesn't matter, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, they're part of the problem, because they are not watching. Do you know what they're doing? They're watching with the blinders on. That's what they're doing. Because, look, if people have a bad, like, if the team has a bad performance, right, call them out on it. It's not difficult. Like, you know, if Sanchez has a bad performance, fine. I will never criticize him, but, well, you know, on a personal, like, you know, and abusing him on Twitter like some people do. But if he has a bad game, I'll say, you know what, you had a bad game. No getting around it. Had a bad game. Mesut Ozil, like I said, I'm not having this world-class bollocks. I'm not. Like, I'm not having it. People can say what they want, but to me, Mesut Ozil is not world-class. And before people like say, oh, you know, the best number 10 in the world and all of that crap, yeah.
He was though. He used to be.
Yeah, was. Past tense, all right? Not anymore. Right now, for me, the best number 10, right? In fact, forget the world, right? Let's look at the league. Ozil's not even the best. Ozil's not even the best number 10 in the league.
No, it's De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne is. You look at Man City, they are slapping teams up. They slapped up Watford 6-0. They slapped up Stoke 7-2. We lost to both of them.
No. That's a very, very good point. Shit. Like, oh my God. Like, do you get the sense that, like, the rest of the season is just, we're going to have to really rely on the Europa League this year?
Mate, that's our only chance at, like, getting into the top four. We are not getting into the top four. We're not. In fact, at the start of, well, actually, no, at the end of last season, I said we'd finish 8th. I stand by that. I stand by that. Like, please tell, like, if there's, aside from Alexis, right, because let's face it, he's the only player that would get into United's first team and City's, all right? The only one.
Yeah.
Aside from that, what player, if you were,
if you think about it, though,
if you're a top 6 side, right, and you had to pick any other player aside from Sanchez, and you're a top 6 side, would you pick any one of them players?
I mean, okay, I'm just playing, just think about it for a second. I'm trying to think. Man United, I would probably, I mean, maybe, tell me if this sounds biased, but would you take Kolasinac over Ashley Young as a left wing back?
Depends on the play style. If Ashley Young suits Man United's play style, then, you know, there's that. And well, actually, no. I mean, my brother tells me that Ashley Young's decent at left back, but I don't buy that. I'd go with Kolasinac just for that alone. Like, I mean, yeah, there's him, like, but Monreal's been decent as well. But you know, I'm not like, people will cling to that and just say, oh, but Monreal's been good. Oh, but Kolasinac is a beast and Sanchez is there. No. We still lost, dude.
I mean, oh, look, to be fair, on paper, we have very good, like, we have names, we have a good squad on paper, but it's up here, it's over here. That's where we fuck up.
And the manager being fucking clueless.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. When right before he moved to 3 at the back, I wanted to play 3 at the back just because I wanted to see him try something different tactically. But all that's turned out to be is that Austin doing something different once and then again refusing to switch back. I mean, he does switch back to 4 at the back at some stages in games when he needs more goals, or we're chasing a game. But like we're going away to Watford. Like, we don't expect Watford. Actually, it wasn't. Watford weren't even a threat like against our defense until they scored a penalty. No. So if we're playing away at Watford, what is the point in playing 3 at the back, especially when you're missing one of your best 2 center backs, and your other one is going to be injured or basically injured. So
yeah, and you know what? They didn't threaten in the first half. They didn't. Like, I mean, the first half was sleeping decent. I'm not even joking. Like,
yeah,
I mean, and you know what? Their 2 goals were self-inflicted. You know what I mean? Like, if Ozil scores that chance, that penalty does not happen.
Yeah.
Simple.
Could we make a case for Mesut Ozil just for a second? When he before the chance he misses, when he comes on though, Arsenal suddenly for a brief moment of time looked like they had that spark of creativity back. Like we could score again. Like we set up Iwobi and Iwobi missed. So shit hit the fan when he missed the chance. Then of course he didn't track Richarlison. But before then, he did actually make a bit of an impact. Would you give him that?
He did create a chance shortly after he came on, and it was a good save. But you know what? That's not what people are going to remember. When people look back at that game, people are going to think back to that chance that he misses and think, well, if Ozil had scored that, we would have won the game. You know, people aren't going to look at the chances that he created and thought, you know what, Ozil, he created that, he did this, he did that. No, they're going to look at the chance that he missed and the fact that cost us the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do feel bad for Mesut Ozil because literally his 2 biggest weaknesses were exposed within 30 seconds, basically. So he doesn't have a good shot on him. His shot is very tame. unusually, and he can't track a runner.
No.
So, I mean, so literally his two biggest weaknesses, like, it'd be very embarrassing for him, but I think at the same time, I mean, if he had any care whatsoever in the world, it's a wake-up call to him. And if he's a student of the game, like many good athletes would be, he would look at that and say, all right, I got to work on these two areas of my game. If it's at Arsenal or anywhere else, I mean, you can't be a team player if you can't do those things.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, Ozil doesn't suit us. He really doesn't. He doesn't. I mean, if we had built a team around him, then maybe. But we haven't done that, have we?
The thing is, Colin, I'm just going to ask, if Arsene Wenger is going to play this system, why didn't he go out and buy players that fit in the system? So if you're going to play basically two wingers be up next to a Lacazette up front in a 3, like Chelsea do, why would you play a winger, a natural winger, across from Alexis Sanchez? Instead, he's all right. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go back further, because you know Italian football, so I know that you know teams who play the system correctly.
Juventus, they're 3-5-2, one of the best 3 at the back systems I've ever seen, legit. Their wing backs were, let's say, Lichtsteiner and Evra, and their front. Well, they didn't play with a front 3. They played with more or less a number 10 and 2 strikers, sort of like 3 in midfield with one slightly further forward and 2 slightly deeper with 2 strikers.
Yeah.
Their strikers at that point were
Mandzukic and
no. Their strikers at that point were Morata and Tevez.
Oh, correct, yeah.
Right. And their midfield was Pogba, Vidal, and Marquisio as well. And
that's a strong midfield.
And their back 3 usually was
BBC,
Chiellini, Barzagli, and Ogbonna played a few times, but Bonucci was the main one. That team, right? All of them players in their proper positions. Not one of them is in their wrong position, right? With us, first of all, even though Bellerin's improved a lot, well, not a lot, but quite a bit, he's not a wing back. He's not a wing back. He's not. Aside from a couple of weeks now, the guy can't defend. He can't cross, and his decision making's shocking at times. It really is.
Yeah.
Our left side is fine. All right.
Kolasinac is a wing back.
Yes, because you've got Kolasinac, who's a beast, and on the left side predominantly you have Alexis Sanchez. There's nothing wrong with that side. That's fine. But the right side is a problem, because if you put Mesut Ozil on the right side and you have Hector Bellerin there, what do you think is going to happen to that? Exposed, that right side being exposed. Because
that's what happened in yesterday's game.
Because Mesut Ozil cannot track a runner and Bellerin cannot defend. So you right there got a problem. Now, if you're going to play Bellerin as a wing-back, you need someone who is defensively sound, which is why you play Danny Welbeck there.
Yeah.
Because Welbeck's on for his defensive qualities as much as he is on for his attacking qualities, which is very little. But our right side, that's a problem. We need a natural winger on that side, and we need a replacement for the wing-back position, because once Ox left, who was our best wing-back at the club, there's no question in that, because he was.
That's really sad, because he can't even make the team at Liverpool.
Well, you know what? I'm not criticising Ox. What he does at Liverpool now is, up in the air. Unless it's to do with Arsenal, I literally could not care.
Yeah.
But we need a natural winger and a player that can play as a wing back. Now, what people fail to mention about Victor Moses was already a natural winger, right? So it's not that difficult for him to move back a couple yards and sort of do that. Yes, he had to sort out the defensive side, but he had Willian in front of him. And Willian defensively, right? If there's two players who contribute defensively for Chelsea, one has left, but the other is still there. Oscar and Willian, right?
Yeah.
Oscar's gone, but Willian still contributes defensively. So Moses has that protection in front of him, and Conte sees that. But if you play Mesut Ozil in front of Hector Bellerin, there's no protection there whatsoever, and that right side is going to get bombarded. Now, if you look off the top of my head, if you get a winger that can, Welbeck can play the right side spot because of his defensive attributes, but we need a backup to that. You can't just go with Danny Welbeck at right side and we'll be all right. No, you have to have backup to that. Yeah. Essentially, one who is defensively sound as good as Welbeck. You know what I mean?
Can we make an argument? This is may sound like we're getting too carried away, but given the fact that right now Reiss Nelson is basically playing as a right wing back, that he's gonna have to learn the defensive side of the game. Do you reckon as he matures, he could fit into that right-hand side and be able to be a more defensive player?
For me, I think Reiss Nelson's wasted at wing-back.
No, agreed. But when he matures to play right wing, like Ozil's position, for instance, having played right wing-back, do you reckon that experience would make him more of a defensive player like a Willian as he gets older?
It could, but Reiss Nelson, like I said, he is a forward-thinking player, and if we're going to get the best out of him, you've got to play him more forward. Now, Welbeck will start on the right side, but if you want Reiss Nelson as backup to that, that's fine, because you could bring him on for the last 15 or so minutes and ease him in gradually, but you still need a player on the right side as a wing back that can defend, which Bellerin can.
Yeah.
So we have a problem on the right side. Whether people want to admit that or not, we do have a problem. And that needs sorting out straight away. The midfield, that's another problem. Xhaka and El Neni, no creativity. I've advocated for that before. I'm not going to say I haven't. But yesterday, it did not work. So let's just throw that one out straight away. Now, if Xhaka plays as a deep line playmaker and you have Wilshere in that midfield, but what you need then is another midfield in front of them. So what you do is you play El Neni as that defensive cover, all right? You then play Xhaka and Wilshere in that midfield three as well. Go 3-5-2, all right?
Yeah.
Not difficult, yeah?
Or you have a Wilshere and a Ramsey together in the same team,
exactly
with Xhaka.
But the thing is, we need a midfield three. We can't play a two-man midfield and expect it to work. That's like fitting square pegs in round holes, And why not play Lacazette with Giroud? What's this one or the other crap?
I don't like how Lacazette was taken off yesterday for Giroud.
He's not playing that.
I would have rather if Lacazette is on the right side at the end of the game and Giroud is in the middle, then Lacazette scores Mesut Ozil's chance, and Lacazette probably tracks back and stops Richarlison. Maybe I'm being way too
you're not.
ifs and buts.
You're not.
But
You're right, mate. You know what? Right. Taking off Lacazette with 10 minutes to go made no sense. Like, because if you know anything, right, you would know that strikers come alive in the last 15 or so minutes, right? If you notice, Lukaku, most of his goals come around that time anyway.
yeah.
Like, you don't see Jose Mourinho taking off Lukaku in the last 10 minutes, do you?
No.
Like, my only thought process would be he's taken off Lacazette in the last 15 or so minutes to keep Giroud happy. We don't live in a world where football is a business of keeping people happy. You have to do what is best for the team. And if what's best is keeping Lacazette on, you fucking do it.
I mean, look, I think actually Ozil and Sanchez leaving could be a blessing in disguise because, I mean, really depends because our manager at the moment placing them with the correct players. But let's say for a second that he's not the manager. I mean, he will be, but you had somebody else there, and you lost Ozil and Sanchez. Wouldn't you replace him with actually, instead of trying to buy, let's say, a Griezmann or something like that, which I heard that rumor, I'm not buying it. That's really not going to accomplish anything because I would rather have a tactically sound player playing in those positions. Like as you said, like a Willian who defends from the front. Would you not agree? Like you would just
You're right. You're right. Do you know what? If there's one guy, right, who is available, then you know what? It's obvious at this point. Everyone would love him, but if it were up to me, I'd say to Wenger. Do you know what? I'd say to him at Christmas actually, like, you know what? You have proved nothing since we gave you the new contract. So, bye-bye, out the door, see you later. I'd then bring in Ancelotti. Yes, clowns, he is available. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because think about it, right? If Ancelotti does 2 years, right, and he gets us back into the Champions League and overhauls the squad to the point where the new manager can take over, right?
Yeah.
And he wins us a couple trophies, you know, along in those 2 years as well. Like, for example, if he wins us a double, right, and overhauls the squad to the point where we're able to not only compete, but win things, are we going to complain? No. No. I mean,
I wouldn't.
Ancelotti's done something that Wenger has not. Won 3 Champions Leagues, 2 with Milan, and he won La Decima with Madrid.
Yeah.
Wenger's not even won 1 Champions League. All right? The only manager that has won 3 Champions League. I'll tell you what, if Ancelotti came in January, you know what? I'd be over the moon with that. I'd be over the moon. Like
when your eyes are shut and cuddled within your pillows, right, Colin?
Well, nah, jumping up and down and, you know, telling my work to go fuck themselves. But hi. Actually, you know what? I kind of feel like doing that now anyway.
Yeah, no. Who would you buy if you were to overhaul and replace? Like, if you had to replace both of them in one summer, who do you buy to replace them to properly make Arsenal more of a tactical unit? We're not talking La La Land, and we're not. Let's not talk about buying Messi on a free. Which, by the way, Arsenal, if you should do that. But
Okay. Well, actually, there's 3 things I would do. I would replace Alexis with Lorenzo Insigne from Napoli. And I would replace Ozil with... Do you know what? If Coutinho wants to leave...
No way.
I don't know.
You know what? Do you reckon Thomas Lemar? I mean, I know we've been linked with him, and we try to buy him in the window, but it seems to me because he can play in midfield that he may actually have that tracking back element to his game.
Well, the whole thing with Lamar was he was like, well, if you read reports, like he was like pissed off we dealt with it, like the way we dealt with it, and like just dawdled around. I mean, I don't know if he still has that in his mind or not. But Lamar, he's a future prospect. For me, we need someone for the here and now, and that's where Insigne comes in.
Yeah.
Like, because Insigne, he is close enough to his prime. I mean, I watch him every week. He is unbelievable. Unbelievable. One of... And you know what the funny thing is? Do you know what the funny thing is? He can actually play like 3 different positions. He can play as a left winger, he can play as a number 10, or he can play as a false 9 centre forward, sort of like Alexis did.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see many attacking players who can play 3 positions. You know what I mean? Like, and Lorenzo, he's good at all of them. He's good at all of them. I mean, granted, not as good as Messi is as a false 9, but realistically, who is? For me, Insigne would be an amazing signing. It would be. As far as for me, we should be. I'm thinking we should be playing like 2 up front. Like, you know what? Like,
I mean, look, if you have Alexis and Lacazette, you should be playing those 2 as a couple up front.
Exactly. I mean, if you wanted to, actually, why don't you just like play a 3-4-1-2, right, with Alexis in the number 10 and Giroud and Lacazette up top?
Yeah.
Because Alexis can, feed the ball through, and Giroud would get the flick-ons, and Lacazette would pounce on him. Simple as that. And when Alexis leaves, the answer to that is real simple. Replace Sanchez with Insigne. You have a number 10 ready to go.
Yeah.
Right? And on the Ozil thing, do we need to replace Ozil? Like, what would we actually be missing? What does he actually do for this team? Like, it'd be like replacing, an empty space with something. Because that's what Ozil is, just an empty space.
I mean, look, you could argue that, like, when Mesut Ozil was at his best for us 2 years ago, when he almost broke Henry's assist record, and I think what he was doing was he was popping up in, or you use the word space, he was popping up in the spaces and being able to just create the the chances. So remember that Giroud one he set up against Everton, the one with Kieran Gibbs equalizer against Spurs at home, like those type of chances, he popped up in those little areas where the defense wasn't able to pick him up. He's not doing that anymore. Maybe because he's positionally not playing in a number 10, he's playing on the left wing. But that's Mesut Ozil really at his best.
But the thing is, though, we didn't have the contract situation back then, because there wasn't like all this talk of Sanchez wants to like go to Man City or Ozil wants to go to United. Like, they were focused on what they were doing. Yeah, they're clearly not now.
Yeah, I mean, One thing that I'm very confused about with Mesut Ozil, because I remember Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil arrives on the stage in 2010 in South Africa. After, I mean, of course, you're a big Italian guy. I'm a Bundesliga guy. I love the Bundesliga. I remember watching him when he was at Schalke and when he was with Werder Bremen. He actually used to have a very good shot on him. He used to have he used to be a creative force. Like he would run and drive with the ball, and he would dish the ball out, and he would find his men, and you have that that needle of the eye pass. But he was an explosive player. But you would look at the player that he is now and laugh at me. But that's what he was when he was 18, 19. And Hamburg had that goal in it was the World Cup qualifiers against Belgium, and he had the ball came to him at the outside of the box, and he absolutely smacked one in the top corner. Now, where's that power gone? I just don't know. Like, he's a shadow of what he could have been, what he was. That's what really saddens me about him right now.
Do you know what? I really can't comment on what Mesut Ozil was like during his Werder Bremen and Schalke days and stuff like that, because I never watched them. But now it's, do you know what? I'm disillusioned with him. I really am. He flatters to deceive. It's just one of those that. Do you know what? I'm genuinely not bothered about it anymore. I'm not. I mean, I've seen a lot of players come and go, but none of them the ones I watch. I'll look at them and think, is he always cracked up to be?
Yeah.
With Ozil, I don't think he is. Do you know what it is? It's
the wrong manager, though. If you think about it, it's the worst manager for him.
Do you know what? Right, I often think back to when we switched our play style to the Barcelona type style.
Oh yeah.
And Wenger tried to mimic Barcelona in Spain, right? That's not real though. It's not. Barcelona are the exception, right? A utopia in terms of football, right? Now, you could say, oh, let's aim for the moon and let's catch a star and stuff, but that's not real. That's not real. We're never gonna be like Barcelona. We're never gonna be like them. So why are we trying? Why try mimicking that? Barcelona can, for a start, Barcelona can go to any club in the world and say, we want that player. What do you want?
Yeah,
they're a special club. All right, a special club. There's very few of these types of clubs in the world. Real Madrid, Barcelona, obviously. As much as it pains me to say it, Manchester United.
Yeah. Man United.
Those clubs are special. Man United, even if they go out of the Champions League, can just say, look, we want that player.
Paul Pogba.
Name your price, right? Even if Man United aren't in the Champions League, they can attract the best because, A, it's Manchester United, and B, they're a special club. Man United can go out of the Champions League and buy anyone they want because they have that aura about them. Always have had, always will. Right? That's the difference between us and them. They have an aura about them, right? Forget Jose Mourinho. Before he even came along, Man United had an aura about them.
No, well, Sir Alex.
Exactly. Sir Alex brought that, right? Even with Van Gaal, right? When you think Louis Van Gaal, you think, oh, Champions League with Ajax, I can guarantee you that's what went through Di Maria's head. That's what went through Falcao's head. Yeah, they didn't work out well, but they still had that aura about them. All right?
Mm.
Not only do they have that aura about them now, they've got a world-class manager. Look at Man United. Yeah, they drew this weekend, but they are miles better than they were 3 years ago under a couple of years ago under Moyes and Van Gaal.
Yeah.
If you talk to any Man United fan, they are not disillusioned with the club anymore. They're not depressed. They're not booing the play style. They're loving what they're doing right now. Yeah, they might not win the league, but they put themselves in a good position to challenge. Like, we don't have that aura about us. We don't. You know, and people will like point to, oh, but we still have Arsene Wenger. I'm like, so? Like, you know, Jamie Vardy didn't want to join us. If Arsene Wenger was, you know, had that much about him, right? And people will point to like Ozil and Sanchez. Guess what? It's because of that reason that they're gonna leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But you know, no doubt I'll have some clowns who say, oh, but Arsene Wenger's this, he's that. Here's a news flash for you fucking clowns. I don't respect him anymore. I don't. Do you know what? Some people might say this is harsh, but really I don't give a fuck. I hate the guy.
Who, Arsene Wenger?
Yeah, I hate him. He's a prick. Simple as that. I mean, come on, man. You can't tell me that he loves this football club, right? Because everyone from the fans and Gazidis at some point, I would assume, wanted him to go. But what did he do? He went behind the board's back, went up to Stan Kroenke and said, hey, Kroenke, can I have a new contract? And Kroenke's like, oh, sure, mate. There you go. Seriously, what's the point in the board even being there? If Arsene Wenger can just go to Stan Kroenke and say, can I have a new contract, please? He'll be like, what's the point in the board even being there?
Yeah, I mean...
But if the manager can go behind the board's back to the owner and beg for a new contract, what is the point? It's like we've got... Do you know what it is? We've got two figureheads running the club, Arsene Wenger and Stan Kroenke.
Yeah. Absolutely, that's what it's like.
Why is Usmanov not allowed on the board? That's one more thing I would like this club to tell me. Like,
yeah,
I know Usmanov is a Wenger guy, and he would give Wenger a year. Like, but if it wasn't working, he'd be like, "No, mate, you're gone, mate. No, I'm not having that.
Yeah,
not fucking having that." Like, why can't we have like? Why can't we be more like, you know, Roman Abramovich, where as soon as it's not working, at the door. What do you think happened with Mourinho at Chelsea? Oh yeah, it wasn't working. What did he do? What did Roman do? Oh yeah, gone, mate. Gone, mate. And Chelsea fans were absolutely raging at that time. And I know because I've seen the videos of them.
Yeah.
Right? But, you know, they bring in Hiddink like interim, and like then they bring Conte. They win the league. Did they care about Mourinho being sacked last year? No. Because they were winning the league.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely valid stuff. We're gonna wrap things up just in a bit. Okay, a few questions that I'm gonna have for you, Colin. The first one is, and this is actually an interesting one because you actually brought. This wasn't even going to be a question I was going to ask, but because you brought it up before. If Barcelona played in the Premier League, so if they were their style of play isn't suited to English football. No. I mean, it would be with the players that they have because they're just so great. But if you had any random players playing that style of football in the Premier League, it doesn't work.
No.
Arsenal used to have a style of football that worked, and also it was. I don't understand this whole thing about why does a passing style of play mean it's beautiful. We used to have just. I remember. I mean, this is my childhood. Henri, Bergkamp, Pires, Ljungberg. They were an attacking unit to be. That people would walk in next to them in the tunnel and they'd be like,
"Yeah,
these guys are gonna like." And if you watch Sir Alex's teams, they were just ruthless. It wasn't just about pass. It was like idea of Manchester United that even when they were 2-1 down, they're like, yeah, they're gonna win. It's gonna be 3-2. I know it's 88th minute, but it's gonna be 3-2. And lo and behold, what would it be? Like that, Wenger used to be ruthless in the way he used to play the game, just like Sir Alex was. But why do you change that just to be Barcelona? Like,
do you know? It had something to do with like Spain winning the World Cup with a tiki-taka style. Like
this is before Spain, though. This is before Spain.
Well, yeah, but do you know what? The last time that we played good football was
our Champions League run, 2006. No, 2008. Yeah, well, 2008 was actually that was.
Yeah, that was the last time we played good football. Do you know what? I don't know why he. Actually, the reason he changed it, I mean, I know why he did. It was because of Fabregas. Like, and like that he had Fabregas, so he thought that he had to like change the style of play in the formation to suit Fabregas. But why? That's thing is, I'm not saying that Fabregas is the sole reason why we played like we did, but even if you do that, surely you have to think, okay, why not we'll change the style to suit Fabregas, but at the same time, we'll bring players of power to assist these players that we have to enable us to win a league. Like, you can still change the style, but just bring in powerful players. Like, Fabregas changing the formation, changing the system, that's not an excuse in any way. It's not. Like, because if you're a manager, you think, okay, if Fabregas, I've got a talented player in Fabregas, to get the best out of them, I've got to change the system. That's fine. But what I'll do is I'll bring in powerful players in midfield and at the back and up front. I'll strengthen the team through the middle, and we'll get the best out of Fabregas at the same time. Right? Arsene Wenger did not do that. If you look at the profile of players that we were signing through that period, right? You had our midfield at that, like 2011, was Song, Jack,
Fabregas, and then Nasri was on the wing basically, but he's also just not.
Actually, Fabregas left Fabregas left.
Fabregas was out after that year, remember? Because he had the basically it was Nasri, Jack Wilshere, and Alex Song mostly.
Yeah, and Fabregas left the following summer.
Yeah.
So
did Nasri.
And Nasri as well. So changing the style did nothing because Fabregas left about 3 or 4 years after that.
Yeah.
So my first thought after that would be, well, Fabregas is no longer here, Nasri is no longer here. Why not just switch back to what got us so much success? Like, we didn't.
Consider we did have Alex Song as a midfielder, so he was actually, I mean, he was a powerful midfielder. He just played like a little man. But you already had one of them there. You had another powerful guy next to Alex Song. Let's say, someone in the mold of Yaya Toure, but somebody, of course, Yaya Toure was playing for Man City, but somebody like that, alongside Alex Song at that time.
Yeah. I mean, what we could have done.
We bought Arteta. That's what we did. We bought Arteta.
We replaced Fabregas with Arteta. Like,
that was a mistake. That was a massive mistake.
Don't get me wrong. Arteta did well in like when he first joined, but replacing Arteta or replacing Fabregas with Arteta is like replacing a Rolls Royce with a fucking Fiat.
I mean, Arteta's just a poor man's version of Fabregas. That's what I remember that being like. Like, oh no, we're panicking. We lost Fabregas. Let's try to get the closest thing we can to it.
Exactly. Do you know what would have been brilliant, right? And I don't even know if this would have happened, but if we had said to if when Barcelona came in for Fabregas, we'd just be like, okay, you want Fabregas, that's fine. Just give us a player that is close enough to what Fabregas is, and
well, that would have been Thiago Alcantara. At that point, I would have asked for Thiago Alcantara because he had quite developed the player that he would have been.
They had players in their ranks that were similar to Fabregas at that point. So there's no reason why Arsene Wenger couldn't have said to Barcelona, look, we'll give you Fabregas, but you give us a player of equal quality or at least close to. And you know what? They could have included the 30 million in that as well. Because we did
get Hector Bellerin in the Fabregas deal though.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't like a major positioning that needs strengthening back then. Midfield needed strengthening a lot more. I mean, I know if we hadn't got Hector Bellerin from that deal, we wouldn't see Hector wouldn't be in this team now. But do you know what? If we had gotten Thiago back then, right, and we had and I'm speculating here, but if we had Xhaka and Thiago and a powerful midfielder, I mean, we could have bought Yaya Toure. I mean, there was a lot of reports around that time saying, "Oh, we're going in for Yaya Toure," because Arsene Wenger has said, "Oh, we nearly signed Yaya Toure." The amount, I'm not joking, mate. The amount of players that we could have signed, we'd win everything. We'd win everything with that almost 11, and it's adding up quickly. Right. In fact, I'm half.
I mean, Mbappe is in the almost 11. He could have bought him last summer for less than $1 million.
Exactly. I mean, he said that his comments were, I had a talk with Mbappe, not last season, but the year before, and I'm like, well, if you had a talk with him, why didn't you try and make a deal with him to come to Arsenal, back then? Why wait until he's bursting on the scene? Because obviously, when last summer, you would have Real Madrid and PSG, sniffing around this guy. Obviously, I mean, yeah, PSG will be in the shit with financial fair play, but do they give a fuck about that? No, they're more concerned with winning the Champions League. That's what they're concerned about.
Yeah.
They'll be like, fuck financial fair play. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, look, I have my own reservations whether or not Mbappe might actually go back to Monaco next year. I just have a weird feeling that they might give a transfer ban slapped on them before that deal can be completed. But that's a different.
I don't think they will. I honestly think what will happen, right? Draxler will end up leaving PSG because PSG have told Draxler, look, we don't want you anymore, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we all know the reasoning behind that, but there's, a case in point that Draxler...
Which is a shame. You would have thought that Draxler had been made as a centerpiece of any football club, but he's been he was spent half of a year at Wolfsburg. He's basically spent half of a year at PSG. Yeah. We were willing to make him before we bought Ozil. We were willing to make him the centerpiece of our French of our.
Mate, we have. Well, do you know what? We've been linked with Draxler since 2013.
He would be a good replacement for Mesut Ozil. I reckon if he played in the Premier League, you could have a similar sort of effect that De Bruyne does now.
Well,
considering he replaced him like for like at Wolfsburg. I know it didn't work out, but there are similar styles of play.
Well, you watch him more than me, so you'll know more about him than I do. But
yeah,
you know, do you know what? We're dancing around the issue, right? Players aren't the problem. Players aren't the problem whatsoever. It's the management, the ownership, you know, from top to bottom. Obviously, you'll have clowns that are happy with like what we're doing and just happy to let Arsene Wenger do his thing. These people, literally, dude, I have no patience for them. I have no patience. Like, normally I'll listen to like an argument and this and that and think, oh, you know what, maybe it's got a point. But with these people, there is no like logic to their arguments. All they go on about is like the past and he's given us so much. We can't disrespect him and this and that.
Yeah, I'm beyond that. I used to think that a bit, but after last season, the fact that we failed and he was given a 2-year contract extension speaks volumes about how much power he has at this football club.
Dude, I swear, like, this guy really does do my nutting. Like, I'm done like with these clowns. Like, when they say that to me, oh, how can you abuse Arsene Wenger? It's real simple. He showed nothing but disrespect to the fans over the last 2 years. It's that simple. Like, I mean, he's blamed the fans, he's blamed the media, he's blamed ex-players, like everyone but himself.
You know, Colin, you'd love this because Bradley, who was just on the show earlier he has this saying. He used to say that Arsene Wenger must wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say, "How am I going to piss off the fans today?"
Do you know what? He actually does think like that. You know, I don't know, man.
I mean, yesterday he must have had like this amazing, like, you know, light bulb going off in his head. He's like, "Oh, I have the best idea. I'm gonna drop Ramsey and Alexis completely from the squad, and I'm gonna start Danny Welbeck and El Neni and Mertesacker." But that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, he said this week that Wilshere has been in the best form. Well, Wilshere has been in the best form that he's seen him in, like, and then he just goes like and puts him on the bench. Like, what sense does that make? Like, you praise him, like you big him up, and like just leave him on the bench, like, and bring him on for the last 8 minutes of a game. What the fuck?
I was so confused because I was saying in the first half when we had nothing, and I was saying, I was sitting there watching with my dad, and I said, "Look, we're shit right now, but if Wenger switches El Neni for Wilshere, we'll suddenly be a lot more creative, and we'll score goals in the second half." I always made it look like a mug because, of course, we didn't score goals in the second half, and Wilshere never played. Like, he should have come on at halftime at that situation at the least. I mean, if like you're smart, and he was like, "Well, we have this first half has been crap. We've produced nothing. We scored from a corner." And you're like, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, honestly, man, do you know what? I don't expect anything now. I'm just like, you know what? This season's going to be shit. Might as well get over it.
Let's just see how it plays out.
Yeah, like I'm not joking, mate. Like, I'm just done with this absolute trash. Like, you know, Watford. I made the point about Man City earlier. Like, they spanked Watford 6-0. Like, but Man City, like, are killing everyone recently.
Liverpool also drew, I think, was it 3-3 the first game of the season against Watford?
Liverpool. Actually, Liverpool probably would have won that if they could have defended better. Like, but with us, it's just like, do you know what? Liverpool's performance against Watford defensively wasn't great, but ours was worse. Especially if you watch both of Watford's goals. They were self-inflicted. I don't give a fuck what anyone tells me. Like, that second goal, or Watford's equaliser, Ozil's fault entirely. Don't care what
to me, actually, Watford's winner was a lot worse.
Yeah, it was. It was. It
was shambolic. It was awful.
Mate,
like, our defense was everywhere. They had about 5 opportunities to score that.
Mate, who's giving, like, who's organising the back? Who's organising it?
Well, our club captain apparently is at the back, but he didn't do shit all. So,
well, to be fair to him, he actually scored. But you know,
yeah.
Like, I mean, to be honest though, when we went in the half-time 1-0 up, we didn't deserve it. It's not like we blitzed Watford in the first half and we're like, oh, hunky-dory. No, we were lucky. What do? We sat back, let Watford come on to us. Oh, yeah, Watford equalised. That's a job well done. What happened after that? Oh, yeah, we bring on a centre-back, sat back again, and Watford get the winner. What a shock.
I mean, with the centre-back thing, I knew that they were going to score when that happened, because when at the very end of the game, if your back three is going to change, or you're trying to hold out for at least a draw or try to win over, you know, at the very end of the game, you have no concentration because your defense is trying to reorganize themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you lose Koscielny, you replace him with Holding with 3 minutes to go. It was stoppage time-ish. Like,
I mean, what?
Asking for trouble.
Mate, do you know what he should have done? He should have thought, okay, Koscielny is coming off. What do? I'll switch it to a back four. I'll put
Elneny.
I'll put Elneny as a defensive midfielder. Well, actually, no. How many? Okay. We had Mertesacker, Monreal, and Holding came on as well. Okay. What we should have done, right? We still had Mertesacker at that point, right?
Mm.
So we put Monreal in the middle instead of Rob Holding, right, on that left side, right? You drop Kolasinac back, right? Drop him back. Drop Bellerin back, okay? You then, what you do, you had those 3 players. Ozil came on as well, okay? All right. Instead of, actually, no. I would have made those changes at half-time. Do you know what? I don't care. Like, I don't. I'm trying to make sense of it, but you know what? You can't make sense of it. Like, I'm not. Dude, I'm sick of this 3 in the back.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm sick of it. I really am. Like, just switch to a 4. Like, play a 4-3-3 for God's sake. Like, put Danny Welbeck on the right side to protect Bellerin. Put Alexis on the left and stick Lacazette up front.
I mean, look, the DNA of Arsenal, the players that we currently have, were all bought to play 4-3-3. They're just 4-3-3 players reshuffled to play 3-5-2.
Yeah. You know what? You can rotate between a 3-5-2 and a 4-3-3. Like, you don't have to play a 3-4-2.
Actually, it's not 3-5-2. It's a 3-4-3, and 3-5-2 probably would suit us better. But
you don't have to play that from. You don't have to play a 3-4-2-1. Switch out to a 3-5-2. You know what I mean? Like, put 3 in midfield. Put, like, Kolasinac and Bellerin as wingbacks, even though one of them is not a wingback. Or here's an idea: why don't you drop Danny Welbeck back instead of playing Bellerin?
Yeah,
because at least you'd have at least you'd have someone who's defensive minded. And to be honest, with wingbacks in a 3-5-2, they're not wingbacks really. They're more like wingers. Like with a 3-5-2, you've got 3 in midfield and you've got 2 wide players that go up and down. Like Welbeck and Kolasinac should be good with that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And you'd have, and starting next season, you would have like Giroud and Lacazette. Because let's face it, we're not gonna have Alexis and Ozil in that team, so I'm not even including them. I'm not. And you could go with a midfield 3 of El Neni, Xhaka, and either. Well, no. Why don't you go with a midfield of El Neni, Wilshere, and Ramsey? Like, because Xhaka's been piss poor. I don't know why he even gets in that. Like,
back on the Bundesliga thing, just for a second, he disappoints me. Is that I don't know what happened to the Granit Xhaka that played for Gladbach. This is a completely different player who plays for Arsenal.
Did he not get more red cards than any other player in the Bundesliga?
He did. When Granit Xhaka first moved to Arsenal, I actually, this is what I said based off what I seen him in Gladbach. I said this is Arsenal's replacement for Patrick Vieira. Boy, was I wrong.
Whoa,
boy, was I wrong.
Dude, that's a bold
if you watch Granit Xhaka play for Switzerland, which is another one, because Granit Xhaka Switzerland, Granit Xhaka is a much better player. He carries the ball with power, like Vieira does, with the ball at his feet. Like he's more of the creative hub for that Switzerland team, and he drives the ball from midfield with power, and people move off him because they're like, oh shit, because he's a big guy actually, and also he's just a pussy.
Yeah, man. Like that's. Do you know what? That stems from the management as well. Like, I mean, there's only I don't. Do you know what? I didn't watch Granit Xhaka prior to him signing, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna.
You not watch the World Cup 2014?
No, I zoned out during that period. Apart from the Brazil game, when like my brother was like, I wasn't asked about the World Cup like that, and my brother was like, dude, turn on the TV, and I'm like, why? You'd want to see this? And I'm like, no, all right, fair enough. What's going on? I turn on the TV and it's 2-0 Germany. I'm like, what the hell, bro? Like, and what I witnessed after that was just pure like decimation of like epic proportions. But like, I just during the Euros, I was like, you know what? He's got something. I like that. Like, I liked what I've seen of Granit Xhaka on the Euros, but what I've seen since then is just not been up to par. It's not.
Look, I'm seeing a theme here, and I think, look, Arsene Wenger. I mean, like Mesut Ozil, I guarantee you, he plays for Mourinho at Manchester United, and somehow he just takes instructions from him, and he's going to be technically well drilled like he did at Madrid. Like and for Arsenal, he's a shadow of the player he actually is. And same goes for Xhaka. Same goes for a few of the other players. Ramsey, when he plays for Wales, is a much better player.
That's because they're given instructions. I mean, granted, Ramsey had a stinker the other night, but thing is, the majority of the time for Wales, he's actually decent. Like with Ozil, do you know what? But
he plays for Germany as well. He has technical instructions that he's given. He's not a liability when he plays for Joachim Löw's Germany.
Well, no, because Low plays him in like a position where Germany played him at like left wing for for a brief time. I do remember watching like a couple of Germany games and also being deployed as a left winger. And when I seen Arsenal do that, I was just like, this isn't going to work. It's just not. And it's not because Ozil was being played out of position, right? It was because we don't have the players to play Ozil at left wing. Germany do.
Well, Germany chucked Tony Kroos in Mesut Ozil's position.
Exactly.
Which is also interesting because Tony Kroos usually plays deeper for club. But
thing is, right, Germany can get away with that because they have world-class players in every position. Like it's not even debatable. That's a fact. We don't. That's why we can't get away with it. Mesut Ozil for Arsenal is a liability. Like my bro Lee said, he's a lightweight. He's a lightweight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, for those people who think that I'm just like hating on Ozil and that, trust me, I'm not. Right? I don't hate Mesut Ozil. Like I don't think he's world class, but I don't hate the guy. I don't. I know Lee does. Like Lee's the biggest Ozil hater I know. Like, but you can't say he doesn't have a valid argument because he does.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I mean, he's a lightweight dude. Like a lightweight. Simple as that.
He's a terrific football. You know what though? Well, we're gonna wrap up this section. I'm just gonna talk. We're gonna do player ratings quickly before we end. If Messi played for Arsenal, I have a weird feeling. Like if he did, like in the miraculous dreamland world where Messi is an Arsenal player, I reckon we would be just as bad. Like I reckon, like I don't. He's also, maybe I'm being ridiculous and I'm underestimating him, of course, as a player. One of the best players ever played the game. But I just feel like our system could do that to anybody.
Thing is, though, right? If Messi came to the Premier League, right, he would be the top scorer in the league, no question, right? Because he wouldn't hit the heights that he does.
People respect him. That's the main thing.
He wouldn't like hit the heights that he does at Barcelona because he's playing all these lower clubs like Granada and all of them, right? He wouldn't hit the heights that he does there. He'd still be the top scorer though, right? Yeah. And the reason why is Messi decides games, right? He's decided several El Clásicos on his own. He's decided Champions League finals on his own. He dictates games. He does. Like if he came to the Premier League, he would be the top scorer. But if Messi was at Arsenal, we would not win the league. Yes, Messi would be the top scorer, but we'd still have the same old defensive frailties that we do now.
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger could sign Messi and Ronaldo. We still wouldn't win the league.
Yeah,
it's nothing to do with players. It's defensive frailties.
Well, if you think about it, we have Alexis Sanchez, Alexander Lacazette, and Mesut Ozil. If you asked me a few years ago, like before any of them were there, I mean, of course, Lacazette was still only a young player. That told me that those would be our front three, I would literally I would bite your hand off and be like, wow, that's literally a FIFA team.
Yeah, like if you'd said to us in 2011, right, that in 2017 our front three would be Ozil, Sanchez, and Lacazette, and all in their prime, every single one of us would say, well, We're winning the league. We're winning the league then. We're winning the league at that point then. But we aren't winning the league because of our defensive frailties. Yeah. That's why. That's why we don't have a solid defensive midfielder. We don't have a back line that is. Do you know what? The best way to sum it up, right? Every time Arsenal are on the back foot, every single Arsenal fan is shitting themselves.
Yeah. Oh, even in games that we win and we hold on 2-1 or something, you're still shitting yourself.
Exactly. Because
if you recall, the most magical night Emirates Stadium ever hosted, when we beat Barcelona 2-1, Colin, after Arshavin scored that goal, what was your main emotion between then and the final whistle?
Don't bottle this, and that's been my main thought like ever since.
Yeah,
like it's not. I mean, look, we're shaky at the back. There's no denying it. And people that do deny it, like I said, I don't waste my time with them. Like they can say what they like, but they know I'm right. They know I'm right. But it's just one of them where you just think, you know what? I know we're not going to do anything. We're not going to do anything worth any note in the league at all. Yeah. Do you know what Wenger's turned us into? A mid-table side. And that's not even debatable. It's the only thing that we've got that could possibly salvage our season is the Europa League. And once the Champions League teams that finish third drop into that competition, that will get a lot harder.
Yeah.
And these teams will have managers that are tactically astute.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like some people will just look down on the Europa League and say, "Oh, it's the League Cup of Europe." I don't want that. I want to win that thing.
Absolutely, 100%. I've been saying that since we started. Like this is the thing that shits me, right? So we've been in the Champions League last 16, and for the last six years before this, we played a team that was much better than us, and we got our ass kicked. With the exception of that Monaco team, which had, Martial and in it, and we lost to them. But Berbatov. But now we're in a competition now where, as of right now, in this moment in time, Arsenal is the highest ranked team in the competition. So wouldn't you want now to say, you know what, let's try something different. Let's see if we can actually win a European trophy. Like, you can't be like, oh, well, now, being like, oh, we're not pointing being in the Champions League if we're just going to go lose in this last 16. And now we're not in the Champions League and be like, oh, fuck, we should be in the Champions League. You know what?
These people can't make up their mind. Like, it's, these people will say, oh, we're not good enough to be in the Champions League, but we're better than the Europa League. I'm like, when people say that, I'm just like, what kind of backwards logic is that? Like, I just think about it, like, you do it. Oh my!
Think about it. Atletico Madrid won the Europa League before they went to the Champions League finals.
Exactly. Atletico weren't even good back then. Like, you look at them now, they're a completely different beast. Completely different. And they're on a shoestring budget compared to us. Shoestring. Yeah? I mean, for example, let's look at our centre backs, right? Chambers, I don't know what's going on with him. Like,
he's got a new contract. I don't know where that came from.
Is he injured or what's going? Let's be real here, though. The only reason Chambers has got a new contract is so we can sell him on for more money. That's the only reason he's got a new contract. No other reason. There's no other reason that justifies it. And people that try to are just like, oh, but he has potential. And I'm like, what has he shown in the last couple of years since he signed that tells you that?
He had a good first 5 games of his career. We had that
Exactly.
Shield.
Exactly. Aside from that, he's not done anything. Simple as that. So the contract thing is just to get more money out of him. That's it. Like Koscielny, like who's I don't know the severity of the injury he got last night, but I would imagine it's a bit of it's like a problematic one because he.
I reckon it's the same thing as he's always had. I think he'll skip. Yeah. He'll miss 2 weeks and be back in 3 weeks.
Exactly, it's Achilles. We all know that. Mustafi, so that's 3 centre backs. Who is out for 2 months? So yay! So you might as well like rule him out. Rob Holding and Mertesacker, who is retiring at the end of the season and won't manage more than 2 games per week. 5. 5 default centre backs, and 2 of them are currently injured.
Yeah,
our best ones as well.
All right, man. We're just gonna quickly go through the player ratings because I got to jet off. All right, Petr Cech, man, out of 10.
5.
That was probably one of the highest ratings of the day. I'm just assuming. Bellerin.
4.
Yeah, he was awful. You heard what's it called? Dini took a pop at him for the hair.
Yeah, I laughed at that. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man. Yeah, that's another thing, by the way. Bellerin actually, this is his return to Watford because he actually used to play for them on loan.
No, to be honest, Bellerin, he didn't really do much at Watford, did he?
Yeah.
So kind of forgetful.
Yeah. Kolasinac.
5.
Koscielny before of course, I mean, plays most of the game, but
no, plays most of the game, but like he was out of position for a couple of the a few times. So 4.
Yeah. Mertesacker, sorry, Mustafi.
Mertesacker 3. Yeah,
Mind. I was thinking 3. Yeah.
Yeah, he scored. Yeah, he scored. But you know what? Like organizational, in terms of organization, he was plus poor. You know what? He's the captain. Like he's meant to organize the band. Come on.
No, actually, a very good point that you say he scores because when you make player ratings, usually scoring is going to make your player rating higher regardless of any.
That's why it's a 3. Otherwise, it would be. That's why it's a 3. Otherwise, it would be a 1.
Yeah. And of course, Monreal.
Monreal.
I think he was actually the best of them. Of the defenders, he was the most solid.
Do you know what? I'd give Monreal a 5.5. Just because he was the best out of the lot.
Yeah.
That's not going to say much, is it?
El Neni.
2.
Oh,
he was dreadful, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I think him being there was a massive reason for those shit. Like,
yep.
I think. I mean, unfortunately for El Neni, he's not Jack. His name isn't Jack Wilshere. Like, he's actually had a really before this. He had a decent week. Like they qualified for the World Cup, and then he comes back home to the shit show. So
he's a keep it simple kind of player. People I mean, he didn't have a good game yesterday, but people give him a lot of shit just because he's not playing a 40-yard ball or this or that. He's not that kind of player. He's a player that keeps it simple and just does what he says on the tin. But there's no question he was not good yesterday at all.
Yeah. Speaking of players who can play a 40-yard ball, Granit Xhaka.
0.
Nah, 0.5. You can't register a 0. Come on.
Yeah, I can actually. I can. I can. No, the amount of times they gave the ball away, and that attempted pass that went out. I'm sorry, but that deserves a 0 just for that alone, bro.
Who played? Alex Iwobi. I wasn't too impressed. Yeah,
I'd say 4. He did try to create something, but he just didn't come off from him.
One thing that I highlight of that Iwobi's game is literally just in a nutshell is when Ozil just comes on and he plays him in, and he's literally got the easiest of chances.
Yeah, his shooting needs working on, and that's a given at this stage.
Yeah. Danny Welbeck before, of course, he comes off.
Oh boy. Well, he did muck up a few opportunities, like when he had the opportunity to just slide it in and for again. He did do some good, but he also messed up a few opportunities as well.
Yeah. And finally, from the starter team, Alexander Lacazette.
I'd give him a 6. Because if you notice the runs he's making, they're quality runs. But the problem is no one's feeding him. People will say, oh, but Lacazette's not scored again. What do you expect when no one's feeding him?
Yeah.
Come on. It's not rocket science, dude.
For me is the only bright spot I'm looking on for the rest of the season. Is because we still have not. We were talking about our front three before. We still actually haven't seen them play together actually on the pitch at once.
Exactly.
So I actually want to see what we're like when we have all three of them.
Yeah, the runs that Lacazette makes, right? The quality, you can't deny that. They are. Lacazette is making the right runs. Something we've not had in years. For years, we had Theo Walcott up front, not making the right runs. We finally got a striker that makes those runs, but no one's giving him the bloody ball.
Yeah.
And when you take him off, don't even give him a full 90 minutes. What must he be thinking right now? Seriously, if I'm Lacazette, I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm off.
Yeah. I mean, interesting. I'm interested. I think he's at the beginning. He must have known what's been going on when he signed here. He signed at Arsenal. We're not in the Champions League to begin with. Is a bit of a red flag. He must know what's going on. There must be a reason that he joined Arsenal. And it's very interesting that he wrote in the Matchday program before Brighton that he's been trying to convince Griezmann of joining Arsenal. I talked about it for about a brief second, but if you're Antoine Griezmann, who is literally one of the best players in the world right now, and you'd be looking at Arsenal, or you'd be reading an article and be like, Alex, you're off your brain. There's no way I'm fucking touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. If Griezmann, look, the only reason, that Lacazette's at Arsenal, and people will try and deny it, they won't, but it's the truth. The only reason Lacazette's at Arsenal is because Atletico are on a transfer ban until January, and that's another reason why Griezmann didn't leave. Because if Atletico did not have a transfer ban, Griezmann would be at Man United, and Lacazette would be at Atletico. Fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Now on to the subs, and the first sub Mesut Ozil, of course. Happy birthday, man! By the way.
0. By the way, Mesut, I'm not going to wish you a happy birthday. In fact, what I am going to say is fuck you for missing that chance.
And who came on? Olivier Giroud.
2. Didn't do anything.
I mean, yeah, I thought he was poor when he came on. Like, he didn't impact the game at all. I mean, he's not an impact the game by himself player ever. He definitely needs, you know, and it wasn't until after we were 2-1 down that he was actually given a cross for a header. But
yeah.
So I mean, there's not much he could do. And then finally, I don't know if we can rate him because he was literally on for 4 minutes, and that's Rob Holding.
You know what? Non-applicable. I'm not.
Yeah,
you can't give him a rating. Like, you know, I mean, what do you want him to do in that time? Honestly, what do you want him to do? Like, you know, I mean, when he's not getting, like, you know, directions from the captain, then, like, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he came on.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, it's been very fun having Colin on today. For any of my viewers, get onto his channel, man. If you want the real Arsenal, no bullshit, you know, a bit of a taste of it today, go to March Arsenal on YouTube. Give him a follow on Twitter. He's also been on a few other shows. You would have seen Liam Edwards on here before. Liam and Colin have teamed up a few occasions. And of course, he's been on you've been on the Guna Talk, yeah? And
yeah. And let's not, like, forget my brothers Tops and Chris as well. Been on there in a while. Well, actually, I was on there for the Chelsea game, like, which was shocking because I was expected to, like, or no, for that game I was more or less expecting a loss, but
and also stayed on Arsenal as well.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That's always been fun, you know. Lee and Craig and that are some guys, man. It is what it is, man. You know.
Yeah. Anyway, yesterday was a shit show. Hopefully, you know, moving forward, we have a game against Everton. Do we expect much from that, or do we expect something of the same? I mean, Everton have been shit, so.
Well, yeah, but we never do well at Goodison, so I'm not going into that game with much confidence. But it can't be worse than yesterday. It can't.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Anyway, guys, please don't forget to leave a like on this video, and of course to subscribe to Gunners and Oz. Of course, neither of the two people on here currently are actually Australian, but for my Australian viewership, guys, hope you guys have enjoyed this, and we will see you all next time. Until then, come on, you Gunners.